Hello, my friend. If you want to know how to bring peace on earth, start by asking yourself how to cultivate goodwill in the world. And to cultivate goodwill in the world, of course, you have to start with yourself. So what is goodwill? Well, goodwill is kind of like a bridge between what makes you feel good and what is actually the right thing to do. It's not just about being friendly or polite. In some ways, it's the opposite of that. It has deep roots. To have goodwill, you have to be able to be settled in yourself with a determination and an absolute intention to seek the good in others and in the world and in life and in yourself. It doesn't mean being naive. It means deliberately finding what is good and right and build from there. And it means dealing with some of the negatives in new, more determined ways. So the philosopher Kant said that goodwill was one of the only things that we could rely on as being good in all conditions. So other good attributes, like for instance, courage, could be used wrongly by villains to fight for a bad cause. And intelligence, for instance, could be used to plot some kind of revolution or some kind of attack on other people. But goodwill cannot be bent in that way. So that makes it quite a crucial capacity to foster in yourself. So goodwill will lead to you being benevolent and trusting, and to presume innocence instead of presuming guilt in other people. It is a disciplined refusal to see people as malicious, but to allow them to make mistakes and to be open to understanding why they made those mistakes and letting it go. It doesn't mean you become a pushover. It still means that you state what you think is right and wrong. But you will do so with the assumption that what is right can be achieved and that other people also want to show that same goodwill to achieve good things in the world. It is about saying, we're all on the same side here. Let's work together. Let's get this sorted out, and let's deal with our sensitivities and our insecurities and be kind to each other and understand each other. Let's not guard against each other and be hostile. To be able to do that, of course, you have to be pretty resilient. You have to be able to trust that you will stand up to wrongdoing, and that you will not suffer bullying, and that you will call out bad behavior. It's like you have to be able to show strength when necessary in order to be tolerant where possible. You have to show strength when necessary, but you have to be able to be lenient and kind whenever possible. So, how do you foster this goodwill? Well, first of all, it's not a mood that comes upon you. It's not just a feeling. It is a setting of your mind and your intentionality, and therefore it's like a muscle, and you need to cultivate it. You need to discipline yourself to focus in that particular way. So it's like training this muscle power in yourself of creating goodwill in the world and in yourself. And you do that by shifting your mindset, by practicing Hanlon's razor, which is to adopt the mental habit of never attributing malice when something can be adequately explained by ignorance, negligence, or stupidity. So you recognize that when something bad is done, it's often out of ignorance, sometimes out of mistake, and sometimes just by people misunderstanding things because they haven't taken time to work out how it will affect other people, what they do. So if someone cuts you off in traffic, instead of thinking, you're a bad person or I'll punish you, you think, you're a distracted person, you look like a stressed person, or maybe you're rushing to an emergency, I will let you go. I won't get in your way. So it is about uncoupling your mind from negativity. It is about realizing that you create turbulence in your life by being suspicious or having ill will towards the world, or fearing the worst all the time. So you say, yeah, there's a lot going on, but if I foster this positive attitude inside of me, then I will expand that into the world and I will create an environment that is positive and that is conducive to greater understanding, greater care, and greater sympathy in the world. So you remind yourself that other people are just trying to cope and are just feeling out of their depth a lot of the time and are just getting it wrong a lot of the time. You humanize them. You look at them as if they were like you. They're just like me, you say. And you don't expect them to do these things deliberately. You also show your goodwill to other people. So you do micro kindnesses, small acts of kindness that make up for the negativity in the world. You validate people. You nod when they speak. You make eye contact. You look them straight in the eye in a reassuring and affirmative and kind manner. You seek to create a positive atmosphere of understanding, and you propose a moment of quiet, or let's take a pause when people are beginning to lose their tempers. You show yourself to be reliable, you keep your promises, you show that you're constantly building up a reservoir of trust, which can act as a buffer when something goes pear-shaped later on, you know. So you kind of create this kind of atmosphere, which is not about transactions. So it's not about, I was kind to you, so you owe it to me to be kind too. It's not a trade. You don't expect anything in return because you do this because you believe in goodwill and in creating a better world. You also don't do it for other people to notice it and praise you for it. You do it just as much when nobody is watching as you do it publicly. But you don't have to hide it either. It's just an attitude, a new attitude you're cultivating, which requires strength, and it requires a preparedness to often be disappointed by other people, which, as you know, is going to happen anyway, my friend. So just do what is right at all times and build this inner strength that allows you the kind of balancing capacity and the absorption capacity and the flexibility and the elegance to be able to let things go and not set incredibly high expectations of others, even though you set high standards for your own actions and your own behavior. You will see that by doing this and by letting other people's slights and mistakes slip sometimes, you can point them out, but then you let them go. By doing that, you create a cycle and a circle of positivity instead of negativity. So, this is what you have to do. You have to decide whether you want to be an ally to the world and a facilitator of people and a facilitator of peace, or whether you want to carry on allowing hostility and negativity to interfere with your everyday life. It's a choice you can make, and it's a choice that you can get better at implementing as you practice it day by day. Start in a small way, but decide to become the source of goodwill and peace and of finding solutions rather than a further source of friction, negativity, and hostility in the world. That's how it's done, my friend, and the more people do it, and the bigger the chances of peace in this world will become. So, I hope you will be part of that project, and don't expect yourself to get it right all the time, because it is a demanding thing to learn to do, and it pays huge dividends when you learn to do it. So enjoy it, my friend. It's a good thing to practice during the darkest days of the year, when we're all looking for some optimism, some positivity, and some hope for the return of the light. So be the light you want to see shining on that world, because it's not going to come from anywhere else, my friend. Enjoy doing that.